Well, we just took a big old fashioned butt whooping. The Panthers were better on every side of the ball today. I even missed the first quarter. At a family matter I had to attend to. My father was in the hospital, if you really must know, and so I had to do something. But I did watch the second, third, and fourth quarter. Except there's 2 minutes left right now. The final score is 26-7. I don't think the Panthers are going to score, but all right. So let's talk NFL Sunday. Anyway, our O line was absolutely atrocious. NFL teams live and die by the offensive line. If the offensive line struggles, you most likely aren't winning the football game. I can't really think of a single O lineman that looked even good out there. I mean, even Ram had his struggles. Even Tehran had his struggles. But Andres Pete was fucking terrible. All right, that was one of the worst games I've ever seen by him. Ruiz wasn't very good, and I think how important Eric McCoy is to this O line came out today because holy shit, that did not look like the same unit. And I have a newfound appreciation for Eric McCoy. I knew he's a very good center, very good offensive lineman, but I don't know what the hell happened out there today. Credit where credit's due. Panthers did a terrific job of creating pressure. Whoever, I honestly don't know who their D coordinator was, did everything right with drawing up multiple blitz packages to get Jameis flustered. We just could not handle it. And Brian Burns is a menace to society. Brian Burns, I dropped an article about Panthers to worry about. Brian Burns was my number one. Brian Burns is a dog, and shout out him. You just that's what you kind of got to do with these butt whoopings. I'm mad too because there was a lot that went wrong this game, but I would say let's look at the positives. But honestly, there's very few positives. I'm gonna say number probably the best player today was Blake Gillikin. Was terrific. His punts were beautiful. I mean that was probably I see why we cut Morstead now because that kid is has a future in this league. Um, who else? Peyton Turner looked good. I thought he had a solid game. I thought Malcolm Roach had a solid game. I thought he had a lot of fight. He had that pick. But even before the pick, I thought he had a pretty solid game. It looked like he was at least trying to cause some type of pressure. Darnold was virtually untouched today, I'll be honest. Couple hits and a couple sacks there, a couple pressures here and there, but D line did not do a good enough job of creating pressure. Um, Honestly, there was no one really on offense that looked good. Kamara was poop. Jameis, we're gonna have a whole side tangent on. There's not a lot of positives about today, but I do think moving on for next week, hopefully we'll get some of the coaches back that we lost. I am aware we do have a lot of injuries and uh, coaches out, but I'm not going to make excuses because the Panthers are a good team and they played a better ball game. And in this league, you have to adapt, and that is what happens when we are in these times, and just what happens. Paulson Adebo, really not ready. I'm sorry. I think last game was fluke. He's not ready. He definitely struggled. Trufant had a really nice pass breakup, but he struggled. Bradley Roby had a sack. He missed a couple plays here and there, but for only being on the team for a week, I thought he had a pretty solid game. Demario Davis was as good as usual. Uh, Cam Jordan has been honestly virtually non-existent this year. I'm a little worried about him. It wasn't a good game. We got our butts kicked, and we take on the Patriots next week, and we're gonna have to regroup and reface. And it's funny because the Patriots played the Jets today, and the Panthers played the Jets. So both teams have played the Jets. Are coming off playing the Jets and taking a win and playing us. So it will be interesting to see. I definitely think that's a big win game because I feel like that's a toss up game. I'm not too angry because we flat out dominated the Packers, and that was a game I did not expect to win, and it set us up for a scenario like this. But we got to talk about Jameis Winston. I am a true Jameis believer. I've been hyping him up the entire offseason. He was bad today. He was very bad, and it's not all on him. The offensive line was terrible, but he made some absolutely horrific reads. He did. He tried to play too much hero ball. I don't know if you guys can hear my roommates are screaming. I mean, there were just some throws that were so questionable that it didn't even look like it was coming out of a starting quarterback. And one could argue, well, we were down. He's just trying to make a big play. That looked like a college quarterback that didn't know what he was doing out there. Trust me, I'm not off the Jameis bandwagon yet, but if he continues to do that, I will be highly concerned because he looked terrible on those throws. He didn't on the other throws. He didn't look that bad. He missed some throws here and there, but it was those picks that had me really worried, and that's what I'm most worried about at this entire game. I think the defense, honestly, for how much they were on the field, did a pretty decent job. I mean, they were set up to fail numerous times. The offense couldn't sustain a drive. They were fucking exhausted. So yeah, it's a good old fashioned butt whooping, and it'll humble us, and hopefully we get our coaches and some of our players back. Hopefully we get Lattimore back next week, and Chauncey and Eric McCoy. I don't think he's coming back though. I think he's going to be longer, but I think we can get Chauncey and Laddie back next week, and I think that'll be good because the Patriots, excuse me, have a lot less receiving threats. But yeah, we took a big fat L, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Make sure to like, sub, all that good stuff. Thank you for 1.07K. Until next time, peace.